Hey everybody, it's Outdoors Dan. Just calling you to say, hey, we're going live on the air, and just we're gonna have a good turkey talk show for you. So hang on and let's get going, okay? All right, hang on. Let's start some music. All right, welcome to this week's edition of Turkey Talk Radio. I hope everyone's having a good Wednesday all across the good U.S. of A. I'm getting a little bit of noise. Let me see if I can get rid of that, and that should take care of that. Hopefully. I tell you, things are going crazy. I'm still hearing that. Where am I getting feedback at? Scotty Layseth is on the show with me tonight. We're going to talk a little turkey hunting and turkey recipes. Turkey Talk Radio is brought to you in part by our good friends out at Rupert's Roost and Peace Turkey Calls out in Pennsylvania. One of the finest turkey calls you'll ever get made because it's made by Rupert. That's Todd Rupert, Rupert's Roost and Peace Turkey Calls. Ah, man. Scotty Layseth's on Facebook Live for me. Hello, Mike. Thanks for watching tonight. We've got a good show for you. I hope you enjoy it. So, whoa, what is that going on? Scott, what's going on, buddy?
Just hanging out, waiting for turkey season. How about you?
Same. I am ready to go, and just I don't know where I'm getting that feedback from. That's weird. That's kind of crazy. Huh? Say something, Scott.
Testing one, two, three.
Check one, two. All right. Well, maybe that's better. So, yeah, I'm just waiting for turkey season, buddy. I just want to go hunting. You know how that is.
And we've got turkeys here in California too. You probably don't. I know you used to live here, but for the rest of the country, they may not understand that we have turkeys here.
Well, I lived there when I was what is going on? It's like I've never gotten feedback. It's your magnetic personality.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I don't either. That's horrible. So hang on, let me move this back a little bit. Move that. Let's try that. Can you say something? Check one, two.
Check one, two.
Okay, I got you now. Man, that's goofy. So turkeys, California, and we're just talking the animal turkeys now, right?
Correct. Yes. I mean, I've had them land on the roof of my house. They're in the trees. They come up our court and make the dogs go nuts. And they're here, but I know they're everywhere else too. I've never seen more turkeys than I have in a field in Nebraska. I think I saw it somewhere. I think I counted somewhere around 250. Is that possible?
In a flock?
Yes.
Wow, that's a lot.
It looked like an hourglass coming out of a tree stand. I've never seen that many turkeys in any one place.
Well, that's exciting. How did your upland hunts go? I mean, did you do more waterfowl hunting, or did you get into the upland stuff much this year?
I didn't get to do much. I just had a knee replaced in January. So I was somewhat immobile. We shot the whole last season of Dead Meat in South America. So had a good time there, but there were times it was really frustrating. We're on a hunt, we're on a perdiz hunt, and it was a classic perdiz hunt. 2 foot tall grass, 5 mile an hour wind, birds everywhere, and I can't walk. So
Oh,
I've got
that's
the
horrible.
camera guy doing the classic perdiz hunt. But waterfowling here in Northern California this last season was a little slow. We 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 had water, we had weather, but for some reason we shot more geese than ducks.
You actually
Apparently,
you actually had water in California, really?
we've been inundated the last 2 seasons. There's
Wow.
up at Donner Pass, the snow cut through business Interstate 80 is probably around 30 feet tall right now.
That's a lot, right?
Well, yeah, I mean it's not Iowa, but you know.
Well, you guys got, we're going to talk turkey, but just real quick, waterfowl wise, you guys have always been blessed with good waterfowl.
It surprises a lot of people that we're always in the top one, two, or three with Louisiana and Arkansas.
Yeah.
And, we kill more ducks per gun than Louisiana and Arkansas. We have a longer season. We have 100 plus days. We can shoot 7 greenheads a day.
Yeah, that's a mallard for you and I, right?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. You know, I don't waterfowl hunt, so I'm just making sure I'm talking right.
I understand.
Yeah. Well, that's good. So, you know, turkeys, you and I have been buddies. You've been blessed enough to let me hang around you for almost 12, 15 years, whatever there. It's been a long time. But, you know, turkey hunting is one of my favorite passions. Hi, Todd Rupert, up in Pennsylvania. Hi, Hank Miller. Chuck, how you doing? Good to see you. You know, I love chasing turkeys, and you know, we've had an issue in the Midwest. A lot of people, you know, were saying the bird numbers have been really down.
And why is that?
I don't want to get into it with the DNR because I love our DNR folks, but to me, I think it's 90% predation of nobody's trapping anymore. You got so many nest robbers and stuff, and it's all game birds. It's not just turkeys, but you know, you're starting to see states open up and allowing all year hunting on a lot of the fur bearers, and boy, that's really seeming to help with the flocks numbers.
I remember talking to a couple of wildlife biologists at a quail plantation in Georgia, and they said they took a plot of land and got rid of all of the secondary predators, all the egg eaters.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, the quail population exploded. Can you believe that?
No, I can't believe that. And you know, I'm not going to blame it all on the skunks and the I have no idea why that's doing it, Scott. I apologize. It's just snakes, squirrels, crows. I mean, you got a lot of nest robbers out there besides raccoons, skunks, and possums.
And you can go in and wipe out a nest full of eggs really quick. We have a 6 or 7 week pheasant season here in California. And there was a time not too long ago when we would shoot our ducks. I would have a setter in the dog box in my truck. We'd listen for roosters around the field while we were duck hunting. Then we'd go shoot limits of roosters. And I don't see them anymore.
Yeah.
Even where they're used to, where the habitat hasn't changed, they're not here anymore. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, it's good. Thank you, Todd. I appreciate that. Todd said sharp hat. Hi, Tony. Good to see you. So, Scott, let's talk about turkey recipes. I got to ask you, you've been a celebrity outdoor chef for years. What's your favorite turkey recipe?
Mine always starts just like with waterfowl. It starts with a brine, and I'm partial to the high mountain game bird and poultry brine. Now, for people that don't understand about how brine works, at the right ratio of water to salt, the brine actually passes through the meat and exchanges whatever trace amount of blood or myoglobin that's in there with brine. It gives it moisture. It gives it a little bit of salt. So when you season it afterwards, you want to go a little lighter on the salt or the seasoning mix. The garlic pepper, the high mountain garlic pepper, after you brine it with the game bird and poultry brine, is perfect. And of course, the biggest mistake, as I might have mentioned a time or two about everything else that people make with their turkey, is they cook it too long.
Yeah.
It's not a chicken. Yeah, I don't want you to cook it to 165 degrees. It's not a chicken. I go 145 on my turkey.
Yeah. 145, really?
I do. And then I let it rest for a few minutes. I know you're not a thrill seeker. I know you're not a what I would call a foodie. Have I missed something? Have you
I'm
have
a
you
foodie.
transitioned?
You don't get as fat as this if you're not a foodie.
Well, you can get fat eating top ramen every day.
Well, I think I'm a foodie. My wife is a great cook, by the way. I would put, I tell you what, Scott, you're like a big culinary guy, okay? But I would put her homemade soups up against any of you or Hank or in the outdoors. She's a gourmet soup maker, man.
And see, I make a ton of soups,
Yeah,
and I freeze them, and so all the time I'm going, "What do you want?" Pheasant, chicken noodle, whatever it is, I've got them all, and I love the soups. But on back on the turkey,
yeah,
um, the biggest mistake people make is to overcook it. But if you take that turkey breast and you brine it and you rub it with some of the garlic pepper and the high mountain garlic pepper, throw it on a grill, put it in a pan. I don't care. The way you should start is probably in a skillet. After it lightly browned on both sides, throw in a little garlic, some white wine, and some butter. When it's 145 to 160, whatever your preference is on the inside, take it out and let it rest. Cook that pan sauce down a little bit and just put that right on top. It's perfect. There's no need to mess it up. And as I might have mentioned a time or two, the problem is with a lot of people, they'll breast out their turkey and not and then throw the rest away, which to me is wanton waste.
Yeah, and I think we've talked about this. It's been a while since we've had you on the regular radio shows, but I mean, any game bird, it doesn't matter. You need to brine that bird. Whether if it flies, it needs to be brined, right?
I don't cook a duck or a goose without brining it first. And
Yeah.
I'm the cooking editor for Ducks Unlimited magazine and have been for 15 years, and I cook a lot of ducks. But that brine really makes a difference. And the high mountain brine has a little sodium nitrite in it, which is nothing to be afraid of. What that does is it gives your ducks, your geese, your deer, whatever it is, a little bit of a reddish tinge. So for people who get freaked out by purple looking wild game meat, it looks a lot more like beef and it just kind of mellows out the flavor. It doesn't change the flavor, it just enhances it.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, and let me say hi to AJ real quick. Scotty in Oklahoma, good to see you. AJ, good to see you, buddy. She also makes a great turkey herself. AJ, she does. This guy, that's AJ in Pennsylvania. I had the whole crew from Rupert's here during the Iowa Deer Classic. And you know who, oh, Scotty, you like country music, don't you?
Sure.
What's Jelly Roll? You know who Jelly Roll is?
I do. Jelly Roll, I just saw he just lost 100 pounds.
This guy sounds just like Jelly Roll when he sings. It almost it's amazing.
And by the way, you mentioned Oklahoma. We're going to Oklahoma next month to shoot Aoudad.
Oh, that'd be
Now,
fun. That'd be fun. I don't.
Aoudad,
I've never shot an Aoudad. Have you?
I have not, but it has the reputation for being some of the worst tasting game out there.
That would be for
So,
dead meat. Tell everybody about your two TV shows real quick before we get back on turkeys.
well,
Dead Meat.
actually, I have Dead Meat,
You got
which
three
is
shows.
it's currently on Sportsman Channel. There's Fishmonger, that's all about the commercial fishing industry. That's on Sportsman Channel right now, 7 times a week. Ranch America is all about cattle ranching, and that will be on Outdoor in September. And all of our shows, they start on Outdoor Channel and then they go to Sportsman Channel. So there's usually something on there somewhere.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, Rick, good to see you. Hi, Kenny Cole. Um, yeah, I've not. I don't think I have got an Aoudad, so you'll have to. I haven't done the Nutria, and I probably won't. And the Aoudad, but the Audads are kind of a neat critter.
We're going back to we were just shooting Fishmonger in Louisiana a couple weeks ago, and I'm going back for Nutria, that big 20-pound
Rat.
rat. I'm going back for that. You don't think I could tempt you into having a bite of Nutria?
No, rattlesnake's fine. The python stuff, no, thank you. I would try iguana. Now you've had iguana, right?
Iguana, the iguana is really high in salmonella, so you want to make sure that you don't undercook your iguana. You don't want iguana sushi.
Yeah.
We're going to do iguanas in Florida this year. We're going to do a cast and blast with some of the exotic peacock bass and snakeheads and all that, and then go shoot iguanas.
Now I've heard snakeheads are good.
They're really, really good.
Yeah, that's a
They're
fish float.
incredible fighters. They're
Yeah.
so, everybody was worried that they were going to take over the Potomac River and all this. There's plenty of room for snakeheads. I would highly recommend fishing for them. We fish for them in Florida. They're delicious.
Yeah, it sounds good. Scotty Miller says Adad is one of the better tasting sheep of the ones he has tried. So there you go. Scott's a
There you go.
taxidermist, so he should know what he's talking about a little bit, huh?
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm going if I'm going to Pennsylvania for my first turkey hunt this year with the guys from Rupert's and Creek Archery out there. And have you ever hunted Pennsylvania?
No, I grew up in Virginia, and we would ski in Pennsylvania and get out of the car to throw rocks at pheasants because we didn't have pheasants in Virginia. But that's the extent of my hunting in Pennsylvania, was throwing rocks at pheasants when I went skiing.
Well, that. Whoa,
I don't know if that counts.
yeah, that's yeah. I don't know if we can count rocks, but the I was out there a couple years ago doing seminar, Scott. Man, the turkeys are huge out there. They got some big easterns out there.
And so, you had talked about soup with your wife making soup.
Oh, wild rice turkey soup, Scott.
Right. I
Yeah.
mean, I happen to have a recipe for wild turkey,
Guess
wild
where she
rice
got that?
soup.
Guess where she got that book from, or that recipe from?
Well, and that's if people would use something besides the breast, and I started to touch on that. What kills me is when people throw away their turkey carcass or their legs and thighs, and then put a bouillon cube in their recipe, or used canned chicken stock instead of making stock out of that wild turkey. The legs and thigh, I mean, those drumsticks, I don't care how long you cook them, they're not going to get tender.
Yeah.
But they make great soup stock. And
They,
those thighs, you go low and slow, you strip all the meat off, you roast the carcass, you strip the meat off, you make stock out of the body. That's what I make my turkey soup with. I save the breasts for other recipes.
yeah, the carcass and stuff. We always save the carcass. I mean that really is good for soups and other stock. And I mean I don't go like you and Hank. I mean Hank Shaw goes to the extreme. I mean he's the Alton Brown of the outdoors as far as I'm concerned. I mean he's a scientific nut. But and I mean that affectionately. But yeah, I mean I think if you breast out your wild turkey and don't use the have you ever done the tenders and stuff on a turkey? Those are delicious too.
Yeah, they're great. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, why don't you real quick tell everybody how you break a turkey down?
Well, I mean, I tend to peel them rather than pluck them because, as you know, they're a gigantic pain to pluck. And if you do decide to pluck it, what I like to do is I'll dunk it really fast in really hot water, take it out, let it sit for a minute, and then those feathers come off a lot easier. But the wild turkey skin, there's not a lot of fat on there. So you're not gaining a whole lot. I don't think the skin on a turkey really protects it as much as, let's say, sliced bacon over the top of it. And right, no people who cook game are no stranger to bacon. And I basically just peel it and part it out. I go at every joint, cut the legs and thighs off, start at the breastbone, remove the breast, and then I roast that whole carcass, pull the meat off, make stock out of everything else. But I break it down like any other bird.
Yeah, I mean, and it doesn't take that long to do it, especially if you skin it.
Right. Plucking it again is a whole kind of a different deal. You have to, and that's a Hank Shaw thing. I'll bet Hank Shaw has never peeled a pheasant.
He plucks everything. Yeah.
I was sharp-tail hunting a year or so ago in Montana with a guy, and I'm looking over at him, and I'm looking at how he's plucking his Sharpies. And I'm going, "You're a Hank Shaw guy, aren't you?" And he said, "Why, yes, I am. Because as I'm tearing through mine, I've got a couple of ripped skin, and all. I'm not making photos. I'm feeding people. We were feeding a bunch of firemen that night. So,
hey, speaking of that, you know who I talked to yesterday?
Who's that?
John McGann.
What's John up to? John's out. He took over my spot feeding the homeless folks.
That's what he was telling me. He said he took over your deal. That's what he's up to. He said he's busier than he's ever been in his life.
Well, Sportsman Channel has had a program called Hunt, Fish, Feed. I did it for, I don't know,
14
years. Yeah, I think I fed about 40,000 homeless folks. And we do it with donated deer and wild pigs and that kind of thing. And John's kind of, I suggested that John should be the one to take it over. John's a really incredible chef. He's a real chef. I'm a TV cookbook guy. I'm the lounge act.
You're a real chef.
I'm the lounge act, and John is the headliner.
Yeah, I love when he talks about breaking deer down and stuff. He's meticulous at that.
He really is.
Yeah.
And he's, he had a cooking show on Outdoor Life Network.
Yeah, I remember that. OLN. Yeah.
Yeah, before anybody else had game cooking shows. John
Yeah.
goes way back. He's legit.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I miss having you guys on a lot. Hoyt, good to see you, Hoyt. Thank you. Say hello to Justin Sims, Dan. He is an Army standing here with me. Hey, Justin, thank you for your service, buddy. Appreciate that. So, all right, turkey soups are good. Turkey, have you ever made wild turkey chili? I was asked to ask you that.
You know, I don't know that. I would do maybe a white bean chili with it and do something a little. I wouldn't do a dark
Well,
with a lot of over.
most turkey chili is white, though.
But I mean, I would use white beans
Yeah,
and basil and that kind of thing too, as opposed to. I wouldn't want it to be overly seasoned because the wild turkey, I kind of cherish it. I don't have nearly as many wild turkey breasts as I do chicken breasts in my
yeah,
freezer.
yeah.
So if I'm going to do something a little on the spicy side, I would probably go more with chicken. I love taking a wild turkey breast and butterflying it and stuffing it with all sorts of stuff.
Oh, that sounds.
Mushrooms, mushrooms, roasted garlic, blue cheese, whatever. And if you're gonna put cheese on the inside, you want to make sure you add a little breadcrumbs in there because if you'll notice, whenever you cook like a chicken stuffed with cheese, if you don't put something in there as kind of a binder, all the cheese runs out and you don't get to eat that. So when you stuff your wild turkey breast, put a little breadcrumbs in there with your cheese. You cut a pocket in it, you stuff it, you can tie it up, roast the whole thing, stick a meat thermometer in it. When it gets to about 145, 150 degrees, take it out, let it rest, slice it into medallions, put a sauce over the top. It's really easy and it's really incredible and impressive.
It sounds good. Hey, Chuck, how's it going? Thank you, Hoyt. Scotty Miller said to tell you if you strip off the meat off the legs and chop it finely, it makes a great turkey salad.
Absolutely. But I tend to cook it first.
Yeah,
And so I'll go low and slow, I'll braise it, and then that meat just falls right off and you get a better yield on it.
yeah. I've only seen a couple of your fishmonger shows, but the ones I've seen have been awesome. And Tommy's hilarious.
Tommy Gomes, I've known for probably 15, 16 years. He said he wanted me to moderate a roundtable with a bunch of commercial boat captains in San Diego. And I said, what are you going to do with that? He said, well, I'll put it on YouTube. I said, nobody's going to see it. So oddly enough, we recorded the whole thing. We put together a package for Outdoor Channel, and they did not hesitate to say, let's do this show. And Tommy is he is exactly the same guy you see on TV.
Yeah,
He's a funny guy. He's a good buddy, knows a lot about fish. We're trying to get him back out on boats. I mean, I think his longest stretch was 140 something days on the water. But he's got in Point Loma in San Diego, he's got a great Tunaville market. They do things like dry aged tuna. They make fish sausage. It's really incredible. You're going, this is not fish. He does some amazing things.
no, it's fine. I love fish. I mean, I actually bought a boat. I bought another boat because I got over the cancer thing, and
Right.
doctor said I could get out and just wear the UV shirts and cover up, with some sunscreen and a big hat. So me, Scotty, I'm out chasing crappies and walleyes. That's my go-to there. So I can't wait to start fishing again this year.
And see, we don't have walleye here in California, and it's some of the best eating fish out there.
Yeah.
We do have a lot. Crappie, our crappie should be happening right now too. We usually get a pretty good spring bite.
Yeah, I would think you're probably mirrored with Florida because of the temperatures and stuff. They're probably shallow and spawning already. But yeah, it's been a little warm here. We've been in the 70s and 80s in Iowa already. It's too early to be this warm, to be honest with
Right, right. Well, and you mentioned California and Florida. I think part of California has already moved to Florida, haven't they?
We don't talk politics on this show, Scott.
I'm sorry, Florida.
I made a promise 4 or 5 years ago. I quit. I won't. I said I'll never ever say it again. And Scott, I have to bite my tongue all the time to keep my promise. It
I
drives me nuts.
understand.
But that's not what people listen to me for. So I try to give them a reprieve. But it's hard, man. I'm telling you. I told you. You and John. I told John the other day, get out of there while you still got some sanity.
Well, my son, he'll be 28 in May. He's a lineman, and he moved to Birmingham, Alabama, and he just moved to Austin for the same type of job. And he said, I would like to move home someday. And I said, don't do it. You've
Yeah.
escaped. You've gotten out of here. Don't mess it up. And now
Yeah.
no more politics.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, Brant, good to see you. Brant, you would like Brant, Scott. He's a big upland and waterfowl guy.
Love that. So.
Yeah.
So I've got two English setters. I've got two brothers. I've always had Gordon and English setters, but there's so few wild birds here anymore. I just can't. We've got some good quail populations, but the pheasants are gone, and so I don't. I do most of my upland hunting out of California now.
If you ever want to go goose hunting, let me know and I'll hook you up with a buddy of mine in Kansas. He's starting to do waterfowl stuff and they've got tons of birds. And if you ever want to come back to Iowa sometime, you can come and pheasant hunt with me. I don't have Raven is my black lab. He's not trained to hunt or anything, but Brant, I'm sure Brant could come with us. But we do have quail and pheasants on my lease. So
well, and I need to get out there. I got to see my buddy Charlie Schaefer also.
Yeah.
Still there.
Well, I haven't seen you. It's probably been 6-7 years since I've seen you. It'd be good to see you again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
All right. Well, listen, I got a couple minutes left. Tell everybody how they can find out what you're up to.
Go to sportingchef.com if you're looking for recipes. And if you're looking to see the shows, Dead Meat, Fishmonger, and Ranch America, go to the Sportsman Channel and Outdoor Channel websites, and it'll tell you where it is. And hopefully we still have people out there that still have cable and satellite TV because they're becoming a rarity.
Yeah.
But and My Outdoor TV, I highly recommend. It's streaming. It's got an insane amount of content from outdoor and sportsman channels, and it's about $10 a month or something like that. And you could binge watch for the rest of your life and still not see it all.
There you go. And you still got books they can buy.
I don't. There's a few left on Amazon, but I stopped printing books. Actually, the publisher sold to a different publisher and wanted all this other crap, and I said, "No,
wow.
It's I don't know why you'd buy a cookbook anymore."
I still got mine you gave me. I still got mine. I'll never get rid of them. They're in my office.
I appreciate that you have it, but I just think everything is online.
Yeah, I hear you. And if they go to Sporting Chef, you got tons of recipes on there for free.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We don't sell anything.
So. Yeah, it's all free there. All right, my friend. I'm going to send you some dates so I can get you on the radio here when you free up after turkey season and stuff. And if we can get you on before the fall, I'd love to do some upland and some venison stuff with you if we can.
Sure, got you covered.
All right, say goodnight, everybody.
See ya.
Thank you, Scott. I appreciate you.
All right.
There he goes, everybody. Scotty Layseth, just a fine feller right there. I can't thank him enough. He's just a good guy. I've had the honor of seeing him for a long time. Well, hey, real quick, we got some talking points I need to tell you about. High Mountain Season, the Wild Brine. Go check them out at High Mountain Seasonings. And what is going on with this? I've got everything off. I don't understand why that's doing that. That's crazy. Let's see. The outdoor day at the iCubs is going to be May 10th, 2024, 7:08 game Friday night. There's going to be post-game fireworks. The first 1,000 fans is going to get an Iowa Cubs dry bag presented by the Iowa DNR. I'm going to have a Grizzly cooler for you to try to win. Thank you. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate that. Thanks, AJ. Check your gain on your mic. I already did, AJ. I don't know why that's doing that. It's crazy. We shouldn't even be doing that. I'll have to check my system. Let's see. Iowa DNR Hunter Education stuff is going on. If you want to get all set up for turkey, don't forget to check out the My Catch fishing app for the Midwest Walleye Challenge. 12 states and Canada participating this year. It's free to download the app, and you could win some big money and some big prizes. Go check that out. It's the Midwest Walleye Challenge, and that's going to do it. We're not going to have a We're not going to have a Midwest. I'm sorry. We're not going to have a Unknown Files show tonight because our guest got ill. So we'll be back next Wednesday at 7 o'clock for Unknown Files. And sorry about that late notice, but there you go. Another great show, Dan. Thank you, Rick. I appreciate that. Everybody loves to talk cooking, that's for sure. All right, I need to get out of here. Buck Talk Radio is coming up. I will tell you more about the stuff we got going on. We got that big that turkey hunt to Slim Knox County Whitetails to do a giveaway on. And we changed that up a little bit, so make sure you tune into that. I have no idea where that feedback's coming from. Well, I'll catch you later. I'm going to say goodbye to everybody on Facebook. So I will see everybody on Facebook on Saturday. If you need anything, let me know. Thank you for tuning in tonight. And thank you to Scott Layseth from the Fishmonger and the Dead Meat Show. Scotty's always good. Go check that stuff out, sportingchef.com. And I'm going to say goodnight to Facebook here real quick.